Just in case. But I'm just going to resume the recording here. And we're going to go through these examples to start off with. Okay, so I've given the instructions. They're very clear. Homework at the bottom if you want to start on it. If you want to tune in to understand how this is done, tune in because I'm going to do these questions live right now. So I'll just share my iPad here. Bam. And I want you to get your calculators out as well, okay? If you get your calculators out, that would be fantastic. Any calculator will do, but I just so happen to have this one here ready. So I can show you exactly what buttons to press, and that's the one that's recommended on the book list as well, okay? I will be checking in with you as well throughout this lesson to give reactions. So just keep your eye on the thumbs up, thumbs down reaction button, okay? So now that that's all out of the way, you can go to the textbook if you want to see how they've done it, okay? But I'm just going to construct it from scratch here again. So here's our first example here in terms of calculating profit and percentage profit as well. A couple of more people are joining as we go through. So, just update. Zane, you're here. I'll mark you present, man. Focus mode is on. So if you can turn on your camera as well, that'd be awesome, man. Just so I know you're here. Cool. And thanks for waking up on time as well, actually. So good stuff. Let's have a look at this question now, shall we? The cost price. So let me just write out a formula for you first. And this is something that you should have handy. The profit, if you want to calculate your profit, you need two things. You need the selling price and you need to subtract the cost. Okay. Now this is an equation here. An equation means that you can rearrange it to find other things, but that's what we're going to start off with. So let's go through this question and have a look at the scenario first. So the cost price for a new car is $24,780. So we can kind of tag already some keywords. Notice how I put in the same color means that it's following the same idea. So cost is that value there. And it's sold for $27,600. So we've got a few things here. And I just want to write on top of it. So I've got the cost. And this idea of sold means that this is the selling price. Notice how the selling price is higher. Obviously, you want to sell it at a higher price so you can make some money, yeah? Because this is how much you actually get it for originally. You don't get stuff for free. So If we have a look at the question now, it says calculate. So there's our process. That's our doing word. We have to calculate. And what are we calculating? We're calculating the profit. Now looking at the formula that we have here, we have profit. So we're going to write, you know me, always write the formula out first and then substitute. The reason why I want you to write out the formula every time is so that you can get used to it, okay? It starts to go into your head. You start to remember it more. In the next step, well, what is the next step? Usually, what's the next step after we have a formula and we have some numbers? Any ideas? Okay, so the next step is substitute. I want you to substitute and then I want you to find the answer. I'm just going to go out into the breakout room for a quick minute. Miss Powell needs some help. So, Michael, if you don't mind, I'll stop focus. Actually, you can narrate if you can, or just talk to students through any questions. I know you're in focus mode as well. But yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back. Thanks, man. Just in the recording. All right. Thanks for being patient, everyone. Sorry about that. Some technical difficulties. Anywho, so the question here says profit. We need the selling price. We do have the selling price up here. It's $27,600. We follow the formula. It says minus next, so we drop that minus sign. And the cost here, we just substitute the $24,780. After that, you go to your calculator, you punch it in, and you will get the value. Zane in chat. Thank you, Zane. You've punched in 2,820. Let's just double check here. So I'm sharing the calculator screen at the moment. $27,600 minus 24780. Press the enter button. Perfect, Zane. And would we just leave that number as it is? Would we just leave it as 2820? Is there any idea behind it? What are we talking about when we talk about profit? And I don't want to be that maths teacher that says, is it potatoes, chickens, or whatever? But I just did. Got to put some sort of units here. Thank you, Alina. So we don't just write 2820. You will not get a mark for that, okay? You'll get a mark if you put the dollar sign. So this goes to the whole part there. That's 1 mark for your answer. So 1A stands 1 for your answer and 1 mark here for your setup. Setup, working out, same thing, okay? There you can see what I've punched on the calculator as well, if you have it. All right, let's go on to question B. Now it says calculate the percentage profit. So just breaking down this question once again, calculate is our action word. It's our doing word. That's what we have to do. What are we calculating? The percentage profit. The 2 decimal places. This here is our circumstance. Okay. So far we've got one formula here. Profit equals selling price minus cost. But now I'm going to introduce you to another formula. So this is called the percentage profit. If you want to calculate your percentage profit, what you need is your profit, the amount of your profit, and we need to divide it by the cost. After that, you multiply it by 100 to get your percentage, okay? And our answer will be in percent. So equals something percent. So don't forget the units. So there's our formula there. Again, I'll write it down. So to start this question, I'm going to write it out, write out the formula. Profit equals to the profit divided by the cost times 100. We do have the profit here. Yeah, so the first value that we need is the profit. That is $2,820. So we're going to write that in the numerator. The costs, we do have our costs as well. That's $24,780. You can see at the top here. When we label it, it's a lot easier to find. And then we need to times it by 100. Now, see this fraction line here. When we see the fraction line, it's the same as divide. Okay. So because it's the same as divide on our calculator, when we go to type that in, it makes it a lot easier. Okay. So I'm just going to share the calculator screen here again. Now, see here, the first thing that we need is 2,820. We can type it out. No problems there. But let's say if you're too lazy to type it out, what you can do is you can press the up arrow. Notice how it goes all black. You press enter. That pastes it down. So copies and pastes it down. We need to divide by 24,780. And then we multiply by 100. Press enter. There's our answer. I'm going to screen capture that. See you back over at the iPad. And I'll paste the calculator. Can I just get a thumbs down, thumbs up or thumbs down if this makes sense? Or if you're able to do this? Just a thumbs up or thumbs down in the chat. 4, 5 people, 6, 7, 7, 8. Yep, nice. Okay, decent amount. So I'm going to write the answer here. 38014528. Do I leave that as my final answer? Are we happy with that answer there? Salam?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Are you happy with this answer here?
So my screen doesn't like let me show the number.
Oh, can you not see my screen?
No, I can't see your screen, but the last number I can't see it. Because my screen, yeah, no.
Is that better now?
Yes, so.
So are you happy with this answer? And just looking in the chat there, Alina, you're correct. Fantastic. So Salam, would we leave our answer like this?
No, so we're gonna take 11 and 38.
Right, why is that?
The minimum of the title, so
What's that?
it's minimum of the title.
The title, yep. What does it say in the title that tells us? Or the question? So why did you pick
We got
11? Yep.
gonna take just 11.
Do we just take 11?
11.2 numbers.
Right. So what you're getting there is 2 decimal places. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's correct. Fantastic. So 2 decimal places. All right. 2 decimal places. And I'm just going to write here 2DP, just so that you remember. Decimal places stands for DP. If we have a look here, we get the decimal place and then we get 2 places. What I like to do is I like to draw a line. Okay. Now I'll show you an extra thing here as well. If I want to do some rounding, I take that number on either side of the line. And so that's an 80. To me, in my head, that's an 80. I can either write an 80 or 90 because that's what 80 is in between. The closest number that it's closest to is the 80. So you can see here, we're going to take 11.38. If you're used to rounding already, you can just do it the way that you do it. But this is just another way. This is how I teach my year 8s. Okay. So are we happy with that now? 11.38. Do we leave our answer like that for percentage profit? We've got
Percentage sign.
Percentage sign. That's correct, Asad. So don't forget the units, percentage. Okay. So overall, can I get a thumbs up or thumbs down for the formulas and the method? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thanks, Alina. Awesome. Good. All right. Thank you. Are we ready to move on to example 8? Just do a quick explanation for this one here. 8A and 8B, and then I'll give you some time to do some practice as well. Okay. So, Bashar, I'm just going to mark you here. Thanks for coming. If you missed out on the first part of the lesson, I'm going to put this lesson onto YouTube, okay? So that you can watch what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. So, example number 8 here, we've got 2 parts, part A and part B. Let's have a look through this first part here. It says a retailer buys some calico material. Yesterday, or the other day, I came across this idea of calico and I didn't know what it meant. So when you type it in Google, what calico is it's a fabric. So calico is a fabric. I'm pretty sure it's used to make shopping bags and stuff. So there you go, calico. So that is just fabric, yeah? I'm just gonna write the word on top of it as a fabric. Just so you know what calico is. So a retailer. So what is a retailer? A retailer is basically a person who buys and sells. So let's say a shopkeeper, right? Or a business owner. That's what a retailer is. Okay, so they buy some fabric. So this person sells fabric for $43.60 a roll. All right, so they buy that material. So if they buy this material here, is that a cost or is that a selling price? Are you, as a retailer, are you putting out money to buy it or are you selling it at $43.60? So this is important to know the difference between the two. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Jess has taken Andy to have a chat. She said she has sent you an email and she'll probably speak to you later if she needs to.
Yep, no problem.
All right.
We'll do.
All right. So I'll leave and I'll get on with some work.
No problem. All right. Thank you, Lisa.
All right. No worries.
Take care. Okay. No problem. So this here will be a cost because you're buying. Okay. That's how much, that's as a retailer, that's what you put out to purchase your material. The other thing here that they've shown us as well is that he wishes to make a 35% profit. So if we look at this idea here, it's tempting to say profit, right? But you notice in front of the number, that's a percent. So this is technically percentage profit. Okay, so we're just looking at the information that we have so far. There's a couple of things missing. If we have a look at our formulas here, and this is why it's important to write out the formulas or have it in front of you, because we can see what we have and we can see what we're missing. So if we just focus on these two formulas here, we can see that the profit's missing. We can see that the selling price is missing as well. Okay, but we do have the percentage profit and we have the cost. Yeah, so we do have those numbers there. So what's missing is the profit. And we're also missing the selling price as well. So notice this process that we're going through. Because sometimes when you look at a worded problem, you might get really confused and be like, I don't know where to start, sir. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. And this is the process that you have to go through. Lay out what you have, see what you have, and then figure out what you're missing, okay? So in this case here, we can see that we have the cost and we have the percentage profit. So out of these two equations here, equation 1 and equation 2, which one would you use first? Which one would you want to use? 1 or 2? You can type in the chat. Would you use equation 1? Or would you use equation number 2?
Mr.
Sorry, Bashar?
Equation number 2.
Yes. Why? Why'd you pick number 2?
Well, because we already have the cost
And percentage profit. Yeah, that's one idea.
yeah.
Yep. Good. So notice here we
And
have
the cost. This time 100.
Yeah, and the 100's there as well already as well. Okay, good. So that's what we're going to start with. All right. Now, if we have a look at the question though, it says what will be, so our process is what will be. So what will be the selling price per roll? So what we want to find is the selling price in the end, okay? Let's have a look. We want to get to selling price, but we can't get there unless if we have the cost and the profit. We need both of those. So we'll put that on hold, right? We know how to find the profit though. There's another formula for the profit. And so you can start off with this one here. So percentage profit, notice how I'm writing it out again. Like for me, I wouldn't have to write it out. I could do it straight away. But as part of practice, it's good to write it out. We know that our percentage profit at the top here is 35%. Now, when we go to substituting, I'm not going to put the percent symbols or anything. Reason being is because we want it to be just numbers, okay? Not until the end. We don't have the profit yet, so we're just going to leave it as profit. And we want the cost. So divided by $43.60 times 100. We need to find or make the profit by itself. So what kind of skills do we have to use here? We learned in the other chapter last term, we used a bit of algebra. So what are you going to move first?
The 100.
100, fantastic. And how are you going to move the 100?
Move it to the left side and change time to divide.
Fantastic, good, very good. So I might change this color. So instead of multiplying by 100, you're going to divide by 100. Okay, or you can actually just do divide by 100 on both sides. So what's going to happen now is in the next line, we already have that 35. We are dividing by 100. And that equals to the profit over $43.60. This times 100 has already moved, so it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
All right, just before I put it into the calculator, I don't want to put this into the calculator just yet. Let's move one more thing. What else do we have to move? So up to this line right now. We want to remember, we want to make profit by itself, yeah? What's the last thing in the way over on this side? What's this line here say?
Profit, it's over 43.60.
Yep, it says divide by 43.60, correct.
Yeah.
So we have to move this, okay, to the other side. How are you going to move it to the other side? What's the opposite of divide?
Time.
Times, correct. So we're going to times by
So
40.
it's gonna be 35 over 100 time 43.60.
That's correct. Okay, so you can see me writing out the instruction there. We're going to multiply on both sides. So this is what it's going to look like in the next line. We've got 35 over 100. Joining it will be times 43.60. What's left over is the profit on the left-hand side. And notice how it's by itself now on the right-hand side, sorry. Now, if we want to calculate the profit, all we need to do is just punch that into the calculator. So I'll show you how to punch it into the calculator. I'm just going to clear here. 35 divided by 100 times 43.60. Press enter. You get 15.26. So 15.26 is our profit. Do we just say 15.26 or how should we say it?
$15.26.
Sorry, one at a time. Go for it, Bashar.
Sorry, mister.
Yep. Do we just leave it as 15.26?
Yes,
No,
sir,
mister.
because there is no more numbers.
Salam, sorry, what was that?
Because there is no more numbers, we're gonna keep it 15.26.
Yep. And do we need any symbols or do we just leave it as a number?
We have the question symbol, so
The question symbol. All right, thank you, Alina. Profit is talking about money. So what kind of symbol do we need? We're talking about money.
Dollars?
Dollars, you need a dollar. Do we put the dollar symbol at the back?
Yeah, but mister, there are someone, I'm not sure, maybe is
no
Asad,
at
maybe.
the first, so at the beginning.
Yep, correct. We need to put the dollar sign at the front. The dollar sign does not go at the back. That is incorrect. You did not put the dollar sign at the back. The dollar sign goes at the front. Okay. Now we've answered part A. Let's go on to part B now. Actually, have we answered the question? Make sure when you feel like you've answered the question, read the question again. Have we answered the question? Yes or no?
Sorry?
Have we answered the question?
Yeah. And
What's the
now
question?
we we're missing B. If he sells $13, what profit will he make?
Let's double check here. What's the question asking us for?
What will be the selling price per roll?
Right. Let's have a look at our answer. Do we have the selling price?
Yeah, it's 50.26.
What does the title say?
Profit?
Is that selling price?
No, it's not.
No. Yeah, so we don't have the answer yet. This is not our answer. So then, how do we find the selling price?
We need to use equation number 1. It's profit
Correct.
equals selling price minus cost.
That is correct. So looking back up here, we need to use this formula now. Because what we just found was the profit, yeah? In here. But we can use that number now in equation number 1. So we can replace it up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new section here and I'm going to write, I'm going to make this smaller. I'm going to start a new section. I'm going to write that formula down. Profit equals selling price minus the cost. Now we're going to replace some numbers. So the profit is $15.26, but since we're doing a substitution, we just leave the money, leave the dollar sign out. We don't know what the selling price is, so we'll write selling price. But we do know what the cost is. Looking back at the top here, the cost is $43.60. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in here. How do we find the selling price? Notice the equal sign is right here. We need to make selling price by itself. If you want to make selling price by itself, we need to move.
So now we move 43.60 to the other side.
Yep. And what's going to happen?
We will have 50.26 plus 43.60 equals selling price.
Right. So what we need to do is add 43.6 on both sides. So let's have a look here. We've got 15.26. I'm just going to rewrite it plus 43.60. That's our selling price. So then in the end, our selling price is equal to, you put that in your calculator. I'm not going to share the calculator screen.
It's 56.86.
Sorry, 50.
58.86.
Okay. And do we leave our answer like that?
No, we should put percent.
So you want to put a percentage?
Yeah.
What does selling price mean? Are we talking about percentage or are we talking about money?
Like it is.
We're talking about money here. Thank you, Alina. So we need to use a dollar symbol. A price. A price tag, yeah? How much you sell something for. You don't say 58.86%. That's not a price. Price is calculated in dollars. So we need to put 58.86 or $58.86. Okay. So double check if you've answered the question now. What will be the selling price per roll? Check your answer. The selling price. Now we have the correct idea. The selling price is $58.86 per roll. Okay, so that's for one roll of fabric. All right. The next question here. If he sells, so this is a circumstance here. If he sells 13 rolls, what profit? So what is our process and the profit? So we're looking for the profit now. Okay. Can we calculate the profit that he makes for one roll? How much profit does he make for one roll? Do we know?
It's 51.26.
Or you mean $15.26, yeah?
Yeah.
And that is the profit for one roll. How much would he make for 13 rolls?
We will time 15 time 30.
Correct. So we have 15.26 times 13. Go to the calculator. Type that
My
in.
calculator messed up. It's 198.38.
All right. 198.38. Notice when we do money, it's always to 2 decimal places. And Bashar, I'm going to ask you this one more time. Now we're talking about profit. Are we talking about percentage or money?
Money.
Money. So what do we need to write?
Dollars.
Dollars. All right. Am I right am I correct if I put the dollar sign here?
Not in the beginning of the number.
Okay,
The
good.
left side.
So I'm just going to put a line through this one here. We put the dollar sign at the front, at the beginning. Very good. So if you sell 13 rolls, that's how much profit you will make. All right. Can I just get a thumbs up or thumbs down if you understand this process here? It's a tricky question because you got to do more than one part. All right. Thanks, Joseph. Thanks, Bashar. Thanks, Salam, Seamus. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Amran, Alprin, Alina, Salam Akari. Thank you. All right. I don't think I need to put these new notes up onto Compass, but you know what? I'll do it anyway. I'll put these notes onto Compass for you. And for this class, I understand it was heavy in content. And I would like you to do some practice for it. So please do the homework that has been assigned.